y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for subscribing and commenting. Like, my channel lately has just been getting a lot of activity, so thank you all for subscribing. Keep sharing and keep those subscribers coming, because we are almost at 1K, almost there. So keep subscribing. And if you are already a subscriber and you've been here, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sherelle Gilbert, and I have been sharing my fertility journey. So you can follow me on social media, Sherelle Gilbert. I'm on Instagram, TikTok has Sherelle Gilbert, and I also have a small business, She Experience. You can follow that page on Instagram, She Experience brand. It's a lifestyle brand for women, specifically focusing on faith-based apparel, accessories, all those good things, so check that out. But welcome back, and we're gonna get right into this video. So in the last video, I was talking about the surgery that I was getting ready to have. So had that, and you'll see like some moments leading up to that surgery later in this video. But I just wanted to say the surgery was a success. It was a successful surgery, and now, like present day, February 2023, I'm experiencing some positive benefits from the surgery. So I had a fibroid removed, I had a polyp removed, I had a lot of scar tissue removed that was from endometriosis. So what led to the surgery, so let me back up. You'll see here that I started with going to my doctor for an HSG, the x-ray, where they basically shoot dye through your uterus, and it goes through your fallopian tubes, and it shows whether or not your tubes are blocked or if there's anything that is in the way or any type of issues with your tubes. So I had this many years ago, and at that time my tubes were open, it was clear, there wasn't any blockage. But I later in 2019 had my tubes removed, and it was due to endometriosis that basically had caused a lot of scar tissue and all of that. So many videos ago I talked about that. So the fact that she was wanting to do an HSG, the fact that she was wanting to do an HSG was a little like confusing, right? Because I had already had my tubes removed. Well, she was just suspecting that sometimes with those surgeries, there may be like fragments of the tube still there. So she just basically wanted to go back to the basics, cover all of her bases to make sure she was seeing everything, because we had just had a failed transfer. She didn't want to move forward with another transfer until she just basically saw everything and covered all her bases. So that's why we started back with an HSG x-ray. So went in for an HSG x-ray, and she did see that there was still fragments of my tubes remaining. What the heck, right? I had my tubes removed in 2019, so why are there still fragments or remains of my tubes there? They should be gone, right? It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. But she wanted to do a surgery, obviously, to potentially like to see if those tubes or what was remaining of them was causing any issues, if they were open, if there was like any fluid that was flowing back through to my uterus. She just wanted to check all of that out. And while we did the HSG, shortly after, I think I came back a week after that to do, she wanted to do a hysteroscopy before we did a surgery. She was like, let me check, you know, this, because I want to see if you have any fibroids. I want to see if like there's any fluid or anything that, you know, would warrant a surgery. Like before she was like, okay, yes, let's do a surgery, she was like, let me do one more check. So I came back a week later for a hysteroscopy, and it was, you know, unmedicated. It wasn't any surgery. She just really just wanted to get a good look. And if you've ever had an unmedicated in the office hysteroscopy, it's a little painful to me, and I think my pain tolerance is high. That's why she did this with me. And it's not just because I'm black. I really do have a high pain tolerance. So it kind of felt like the HSG, which a lot of people, for them, are like, it's so painful. But for me, it just kind of feels like bad cramps. And because I have a history of bad, terrible cramps, like it just wasn't that bad for me. So we did a hysteroscopy in the office, and basically she saw a fibroid. She saw a polyp that definitely needed to be removed. So we proceeded with scheduling a surgery. But what was unique about this was that she was going to be working alongside another surgeon. So she said, I have a surgeon that I want to work with who's good at, removing scar tissue, tubes. If there's like anything with your tube still there, she's good at this. So this is who I would recommend. If it were me, like this is who I would want to do this surgery. She's a gynecologist, oncologist, and she specifically does these type of procedures. So I was like, cool, well, let's get her on board. So before the surgery, I had to meet with her, this doctor, this surgeon. So I met with her a couple times. She reviewed, the x-ray scans. She reviewed pretty much everything that I had been doing with my current doctor. And so she just kind of gave me a rundown of what this surgery would look like and all of that good stuff. So I had this surgery about a month and a half later. So the surgery was in November. So we proceeded with the surgery, going in thinking like they were going to remove whatever was left of my tubes, and deal with like if I had any scar tissue or endometriosis related type stuff, and then this fibroid and possibly a polyp. So prior to that, I went in to see the surgeon a week before my surgery. So this is that clip. So I want to record this video because I have surgery in a week, next week, Wednesday. And I just went to see one of the surgeons that's going to be performing the surgery. She's specifically a, what is she? A oncologist. So she does these types of surgeries like laparoscopy via the robotics thing. So I'm preparing for my 4th surgery. It's just a long story. So preparing for my 4th surgery. So I went in. This is just like a pre-checkup that she likes to do before the surgery. So she did like a pelvic exam and she could feel a fibroid. So I don't know, like we knew that I had fibroids, but I don't know if we knew, I guess about this one that she was able to feel. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated and tired. It just feels like, it's just like, when is it gonna be good news? Like, when is it gonna be our turn to just experience some good news? It just feels like with every appointment, it's always something. I'm just so tired of this. Like, I'm like shaking because I'm just so tired. We're dealing with a lot right now. Yeah, it's just so much. I just needed a moment to just cry and just let it out because it's so heavy. This journey is nothing like I thought it would be. I honestly thought like by now I would have at least 2 kids. But here we are 3 years later, almost 4 surgeries later, getting ready to do, like, it's so much. And I'm trying to believe and stay faithful and believe that God has a plan for all of this. I'm just praying and hoping that this is it. Like, this is like the final thing that's going to get everything, the fibroids, polyps, whatever, and we can finally move forward and have a successful transfer. So that's what I'm trying to look at this. Like, This is the final thing. Like, God is just trying to clear everything out, things that we may not have seen or been able to see on scans. And yeah, this is the final thing. So I'm just praying that this is it for in terms of surgeries, and that this is the final step before we actually just experience some happiness in terms of this journey. Yeah, so that's it. I'm about to go grab myself something to eat because I'm stressed, and Shake Shack sounds really good right now, so that's what I'm about to do. All right, y'all, love you guys. So a week later, Joe and I went to Birmingham for this surgery. We got up super early in the morning, went down for this surgery.
Got me on camera. Getting some of this 5 o'clock in the morning soda.
Basically, the surgery was a success. What they told me after the surgery was that they could not find the tubes because I had so much scar tissue from the endometriosis. She said there was evidence of endometriosis. I had a lot of adhesions and just so much that basically whatever remaining parts of my tubes were so pushed back or covered by all the scar tissue that it wouldn't have made a big deal. I mean, it would not have made a difference to remove them because they wanted to focus on removing that scar tissue. They did testing, to see if the tubes were dilated, if they were open, if there was any fluid. There was none of that. So they were like, let's just leave what's there, and let's focus on getting this scar tissue and dealing with that along with the polyp and the fibroid. So we did that. So the surgeon did it robotically. So that's the laparoscopy. So I had like 4 incisions on my stomach, did that. And then my doctor did the hysteroscopy, which is vaginally, to remove the fibroid and the polyp. So yeah, after that, maybe a week or so later, I think it was 2 weeks later, I did a follow-up with my doctor, and she showed me all the images and everything from the surgery. And man, it was just a lot to take in because I didn't realize how bad endometriosis had impacted just so much of my body and my reproductive system, basically. And just all the scar tissue she showed me, like, that they had to, that was like, it was just a mess. It was a mess. But they got the fibroid out. She showed me what that looked like. She got the polyp out. So everything, she said it was a success. But just with the nature of everything that my uterus had been through, I guess it was just, hard to see that my body had been through so much, this was being my 4th surgery, and just questioning like, because I have all these issues, does this mean like I can carry? Like, will I be able to successfully carry? Is what I asked her, and she said, Sherelle, like, I haven't given up hope. I don't want you to give up hope. Like, it's still possible. And I'm so thankful for my doctor because she reassured me, and she's always offering hope and a positive outlook. But I guess just hearing all of that, like what happened with the surgery as far as what they had to do, it's just overwhelming because you just feel like, dang, my body was just jacked up, and because it was just so jacked up, like, will this ever happen for me? Like, will my body be able to just be normal? So that's a lot. I dealt with that, like, so that surgery was like right after Thanksgiving. So like all of Christmas, I just took time, just all of December, I took time to just process that, and we just needed a break because, you know, again, this is the fourth surgery and still no baby. So just praying that after that, like, that was the thing that just cleared, you know, everything out. Since then, we did I think I was on birth control for a couple months, and she suggested, like, moving forward that we try a natural cycle. So I don't know if anybody has done a natural cycle, anybody who's watching, or if you've heard of a natural cycle. So basically, the natural cycle is without the initial medication, which includes the estrogen, the Lupron, anything like that. So basically, your body will go through a natural cycle. You'll have a period and then begin tracking your ovulation. So I was like, wow, I get to be like a regular girl for once and track my ovulation, because I've never done that. So she was just explaining to me what that looks like. So there would be a period where I would track my ovulation and let them know, based on the digital test, if I get a smiley face. And then from there, I think they would do like a trigger shot and then schedule the transfer. And then I think right before the transfer is when I start the progesterone. So I will still be on that. And then, you know, on progesterone until I think like 10 weeks or so. So she talks about doing that, and I'm open to anything at this point. I think my body will probably benefit from a natural cycle, especially since previous cycles or previous transfers, it always seemed like we were canceling because my body just reacted differently on the meds. Like, my levels would be sky high, and they're like, oh, we have to stop, we have to cancel and get everything back down and then start over. So that's happened at least twice in these last 4 years, where I was on the medication and then my levels just went through the roof. So maybe this is what my body needs. I don't know, we'll see. But just pray for us as we prepare for another transfer. This will be transfer number 4, and I'm praying that this will finally be our time. So yeah, if you are on this journey, it's a lot, but just know, like, you're not alone. I am here for you. If you need to vent or whatever, like, I am here. But I just want to encourage you, if you are on this journey, to stay encouraged. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Stay encouraged. It is a lot. It is a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of emotions, but really just cling to God, cling to Jesus, because that's been my source, as well as my supports. All of the wonderful comments from you all have been so encouraging, and it's helped me so much. So definitely appreciate that. But if you're on this journey, again, I just want you to stay encouraged and know that you're not alone. You have a support in me, and I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for y'all who are on this journey, because I get it. I know what it feels like. So stay encouraged, y'all. Again, I appreciate you all for joining me on this journey, all the ups and the downs. But yeah, stay tuned. I'll again continue to share. So drop me a comment, like this video, share it, make sure you subscribe if you have not, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.